بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you, my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for today's lesson, which is Unit 4, the first lesson of Unit 4, Listen and Discuss. Of course, the Unit 4 title is The Sporting Life. The Sporting Life. So I think you can guess what's the main theme of this unit. Yes, that's correct. It will be talking about sports and the sporting life, of course. So the theme of this unit will be talking about sports. So these are the unit goals for this unit: sports and sporting events. So we'll be talking about the sporting events like the Olympics, for example. Ceremonies and the functions we'll be talking about: encourage and express confidence in some, explain steps in a process or game. Grammar: gerunds as subjects. If you remember, we took gerunds as objects. Now we'll be talking about gerund as subject, superlative plus the present perfect, and then we'll be taking the listening, the pronunciation, or the voiced and voiceless th, tha. Reading: a country born on skies. Writing: write an email giving complex instructions on how to do a sport or activity. The four-meaning function: present perfect, progressive, adverbs of manner, comparative forms of adjectives, and the adverbs. So you can see the main theme of this unit is to talk about sports and sport events. So today we'll be taking a listen and discuss. These are the objectives for today: to talk about the Olympics. Of course, you know the Olympics. Today we'll be talking about the Olympics. Design an Olympic flag. List facts about the Olympics. Write sentences using new words. Correct information according to the text. Conclude sentences about the Olympics. So I think you can guess what's this logo here. Yes, that's correct. It's the logo for the Olympics. But can you answer some questions about it? For example, how often do they occur, the Olympic sports events? How often do they occur? Do they happen every year, every 2 years, that's correct, every 4 years? What sports are included? Do you know some of the sports that are included in the Olympics? Football, of course, maybe javelin, and so on. Where are these games held? They're held in different cities each year. The next one is held next year. Yes, that's correct, in Paris. Have you ever seen the Olympic Games either in person or on television? Of course, for me, I have seen some of them. Has your country participated in the Olympics? Yes, Saudi Arabia has participated many times in the Olympics. Have you ever met an Olympic athlete? For me, no, I never met an Olympic athlete. What is your favorite sport to watch during the Olympics? What's your favorite sport to watch during the Olympics? Maybe other than football. I think most of you will choose football. Maybe javelin, maybe the archery, the bow and the arrow, and so on. So what's your favorite sport to watch during the Olympics? So make a list of what you already know about the Olympic Games. Then read the passage and underline the facts about the games that are new to you. So the facts that are new to you, underline them. So make a list of some sports and then underline the new facts. As you can see here in this picture, this is the Olympic. That's correct. They call it the Olympic torch. As you can see, the fire here, this is the torch that they carry for the Olympics. So we'll be listening to an article here about the Olympics. Let's listen to it, and later we'll be answering some questions about the article. Fascinating Olympic facts. Let's listen.
The ancient Olympic Games began in Greece in 776 BCE and were held every 4 years until 393 CE. It wasn't until about 1,500 years later, in the mid-1800s, that the Games were revived in Greece. But the Olympics didn't become the event we know today until 1896, when a French historian named Pierre de Coubertin had the idea of making the Games international, and founded the International Olympic Committee.
So, thanks to this French historian, his name is Pierre de Coubertin, he had the idea of the current Olympic Games that we see today, that some teams from every nation, they come and compete against each other, as he said here. He had the idea of making the games international. Different countries, they come and compete against each other, and founded the International Olympic Committee. So continuing here with the article, some facts about the Olympics.
Medals weren't always a part of the Olympics. Giving medals to winners is a practice that began in 1896, and between 1896 and 1904, the top prize was a silver medal. The youngest person that has ever competed in the Olympics was Demetrius Loundras, a 10-year-old gymnast on the 1896 Greek gymnastics team. Lighting the Olympic torch does not involve a match. It is lit using only the light of the sun and a special mirror. At various times, the Olympics have included such unusual events as a swimming obstacle race, a tug-of-war, and live pigeon shooting. The gold medal is not made of gold. It's actually 92.5% silver with a covering of 6 grams of gold.
So these are some new facts about the Olympics. As you can see here in the first paragraph, it was talking that the prizes before, the winner will get a silver medal instead of a gold medal. This is new to me. In the second paragraph, the youngest person who has ever participated was a 10-year-old boy, as you can see, in 1896. And lighting the Olympic torch using a mirror and the sun. So this is also new to me. At various times, the Olympics have included such unusual events that maybe we don't have today in the Olympic Games. For example, a swimming obstacle race, a tug-of-war, and live pigeon shooting, where you shoot live pigeons. Of course, we don't have these today. The gold medal isn't made entirely of gold. Most of it is gold, but not the entire medal is gold. It's actually 92.5% silver with a covering of 6 grams of gold. So it's actually silver, and it's maybe painted or coated with gold. So all of these are new facts about the Olympics. Let's continue here.
The marathon is an event named after the run of a Greek soldier, Phidippides. In 490 BCE, Phidippides ran from Marathon to Athens, about 26 miles, or 42 kilometers, to deliver news about the Greeks' success in a battle. Running through the mountains and rocky land was extremely difficult. After Phidippides arrived in Athens and delivered his news, he fell down and died. The first modern Olympics in 1896 included a race of 26 miles, 42 kilometers, called a marathon, to commemorate Phidippides' run. Because the Greeks originated the Olympics, the Greek team always leads the procession of athletes during the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games. They are followed by the other teams in alphabetical order. The hosting country goes last. Dropping sports from the Olympics is not uncommon. In fact, many popular sports have been dropped through the years, including rugby, golf, baseball, and softball. Adding a new event can only happen if another one is dropped.
So also here some new facts. Why is it called a marathon to run all this distance, 42 kilometers? Why is it called a marathon? Because of this Greek soldier, Phidippides, was running from Marathon to Athens. That's why they are honoring him by calling it the marathon, because he died after that, delivering a message. And the second paragraph is talking about the Greeks, because the Olympics originated in Greek. How do they honor him? How do they honor them? The Greek team always leads the procession of athletes during the opening ceremony. If you see the opening ceremony, all the countries come and they are carrying the flag. Greek is always the first country to come. And the last country is the hosting country, of course. Dropping sports from the Olympics is not uncommon. Sometimes they drop some sports, and when they drop a sport, they add a new one. For example, they dropped rugby, golf, baseball, and softball. As said in the last line, adding a new event can only happen if another one is dropped. Here's a language builder for you. The abbreviations BCE and CE stand for before the Common Era and the Common Era. So BCE, before the Common Era, CE is the Common Era. Many people consider BCE and CE more appropriate in today's more diverse world where people of many religions live side by side. So practice the skill of scanning for names and dates. So the skill for scanning, where you read the text quickly. So I want you to scan the text for names and dates. Then we'll be answering the question. So scan the text quickly for names and dates, and let's answer these questions. Scan the text to find the answers to the following questions. When did the ancient Olympic Games begin? When did the ancient Olympic Games begin? The ancient one, not the modern one, the ancient one. Let's see the answer here. That's correct. 776 BCE. Question 2 here. When did the Olympics become an international event? As mentioned earlier, it became an international event. So when did that happen? When did the Olympics become an international event? Let's see the answer here. In 1894. What was the top prize in the Olympics in 1896? In 1896, what was the top prize? If you get the first place, do you get a gold medal? Of course not. You get a silver medal. Who founded the Olympic Committee? Who founded the Olympic Committee? We just mentioned his name earlier. So that's correct. The Frenchman who is also responsible for the Olympics becoming international is Pierre de Coubertin. How much gold is there in a gold medal? How much gold is there in a gold medal? Is it made entirely of gold? Is most of it is gold? So how much gold in the gold medal? How many grams? Let's see here. Only 6 grams. Only 6 grams. Which team goes first in the opening ceremony? Which team goes first in the opening procession? In the opening ceremony, which team goes first? We just mentioned it. Yes, that's correct. The Greek team. The Greek team, because the Olympics was founded there. Here's a vocabulary practice for you. Find words on page 44 and 45 that matches these definitions. So find words on these pages from the article that matches these definitions. So we have definitions here. I want you to read the text again and find words that have these that are the meaning for these definitions. Something used to start a fire, a game in which 2 teams pull a rope, a member of the military, excluded or removed from a group. So these are the definitions. I want you to read the text again. We'll read it again and find the terms, the correct terms for these definitions. So let's listen again to the article.
The ancient Olympic Games began in Greece in 776 BCE and were held every 4 years until 393 CE. It wasn't until about 1,500 years later, in the mid-1800s, that the Games were revived in Greece. But the Olympics didn't become the event we know today until 1896, when a French historian named Pierre de Coubertin had the idea of making the Games international, and founded the International Olympic Committee. Medals weren't always a part of the Olympics. Giving medals to winners is a practice that began in 1896, and between 1896 and 1904, the top prize was a silver medal. The youngest person that has ever competed in the Olympics was Demetrius Loundras, a 10-year-old gymnast on the 1896 Greek gymnastics team. Lighting the Olympic torch does not involve a match. It is lit using only the light of the sun and a special mirror. At various times, the Olympics have included such unusual events as a swimming obstacle race, a tug-of-war, and live pigeon shooting. The gold medal is not made of gold. It's actually 92.5% silver with a covering of 6 grams of gold. The marathon is an event named after the run of a Greek soldier, Phidippides. In 490 BCE, Phidippides ran from Marathon to Athens, about 26 miles, or 42 kilometers, to deliver news about the Greeks' success in a battle. Running through the mountains and rocky land was extremely difficult. After Phidippides arrived in Athens and delivered his news, he fell down and died. The first modern Olympics in 1896 included a race of 26 miles, 42 kilometers, called a marathon, to commemorate Phidippides' run. Because the Greeks originated the Olympics, the Greek team always leads the procession of athletes during the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games. They are followed by the other teams in alphabetical order. The hosting country goes last. Dropping sports from the Olympics is not uncommon. In fact, many popular sports have been dropped through the years, including rugby, golf, baseball, and softball. Adding a new event can only happen if another one is dropped.
So now that we have listened again to the article, let's see the first definition. Something used to start a fire. Something used to start a fire. What's the correct term for it? From the article, of course. So let's see the answer here. It's match. Match. A game in which two teams pull a rope. A game, this is a game here, in which two teams pull the rope. You have your team and the opponent team, and you each pull a rope. What's this game or sport called? So let's see the answer here. It's tug of war. Tug of war. A member of the military, soldier, Philippides, of course, here he means Philippides, excluded or removed from a group. Excluded or removed from a group. So what do we call this? It's dropped. When something is dropped, it means that it's excluded or removed from a group. This is the quick check here. Complete the sentences with one of these words. We have commemorate, marathon, originated, practice, and procession. These are the meanings of these words. Commemorate, do something such as hold a ceremony in memory of someone or something. Marathon, a foot race of a little over 26 miles or 42 kilometers in length. Originated means started or began. Practice, something that is usually done, a custom. Procession, a parade or line of people moving together in a ceremony. Revived, to bring something back or make people interested in it again. So now that we know the meanings of these words, let's answer the questions here. Number one, the parade will begin with of students marching down the avenue. The parade will begin with a word here of students marching down the avenue. So, which word do you put here? Let's see the correct answer. With a procession of students marching down the avenue. The board game chess in India in the 6th century. So, the board game, of course we all know chess in India. Yes, that's correct. Originated, it began in India in the 6th century. The Eiffel Tower was built to the 100th anniversary of the French Revolution. So, the Eiffel Tower was built to, that's correct, to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the French Revolution. Number 4, thousands of runners participate in the every year. So, thousands of runners participate in what? That's correct, in the marathon every year. The new museum has tourism in our city. The new museum has revived tourism in our city, brought back tourism in our city. Number 6, so the last one here, the practice of exchanging rings during a wedding ceremony dates back to the ancient times. The practice of exchanging rings during a wedding ceremony dates back to ancient times. Exercise B here to the comprehension, true or false. Comprehension means your understanding of the text. So let's see if you did understand the text or not with true or false. Number 1, the Olympic Games have occurred every 4 years since 776 BCE. Since that time, it occurred every 4 years. Let's see the answer here. It's false. Number 2, the host country always leads the Olympic procession. The host country. Which country lead the ceremony? So it's false. It's false, unless it's Greece, of course. It's false. The country that always leads the ceremony is Greece. Number 3, a swimming obstacle race was once an Olympic sport. A swimming obstacle race was once an Olympic sport. Of course, this is true, but they dropped it as we read. Before 1896, athletes who came in first place won a silver medal. Before 1896, this is false, of course. Number 5, the marathon commemorates an ancient Greek sporting event, the marathon. So this is, of course, false. It commemorates a soldier who went from, who was delivering a message. Number 6, Philippides fell down and died soon after completing his run. This is true that he died. And this is some culture note here. The current Olympic flag with the 5 rings was designed by Pierre de Coubertin. The 5 rings represent the 5 continents that athletes travel from: Africa, the Americas, Asia, Europe, and Oceania. The rings are interlocked to symbolize the nations come together and compete in unity. The colors of the Olympics rings, blue, yellow, black, green, and red, on a white background were chosen because at least one of these colors appear on the flag of every country in the world. So that's why they chose these colors. And with that, we reach the end of this lesson. See you next lesson, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.